Hello and welcome everybody. I'm Allison Gorman and we are here for the Woo Woo Biz Manifest That Shit. This is our first Woo Talk and I'm super stoked. A wonderful, amazing woman that I call mentor and friend has joined us for our very first Woo Talk. And I'm excited because this Woo Talk, I'm actually right now in the Dominican Republic where I worked on manifesting, selling international real estate. And I'm super stoked because I'm here doing that. And I get to connect with Sandy. And you're in Atlanta, Georgia, right, Sandy, or outside of Atlanta? Yes, perfect. So let me tell you a little bit about Sandy before she takes it away for us to talk about her woo-woo. And Sandy is a retired telecommunications engineer. She has her bachelor's of science in mathematics, her master's in environmental management, master's in telecommunications. She is an artist. Please, please, please check out her Facebook, which is Sandy Leaf Designs. Amazing work. Sandy also grew up on the Mississippi Gulf Coast and has always been connected and inspired by nature. She's been co-facilitating workshops with Dr. Jerry Levine since 2016, which is how I met her, was through some workshops that were happening online. And those workshops have included fire walking, aero brakes, radionics, EFT, and many other forms of release work. So Sandy's going to be talking about tapping into your success. And she's been working with individuals and groups since 2012 and has completed hundreds of hours of formal EFT training. And I know me personally, we have had private sessions together and worked through some major blocks. So I am so excited to have you on, Sandy, and just grateful for you to be here.
Thank you, Allison.
And I want you to explain this picture because you said it was perfect. Oh, wait, sorry, they switched lines. But tell us about the manifesting of this because, you know, that's what we're all about, right? Manifesting this shit. So tell us about the picture.
Well, it's really funny. I did not pick it to share, but it's hysterical that it fits in so well. That's a Zucca gourd, Zucca. I got some seeds from a guy in California. And that particular one grew to about 45 pounds, over 3 feet long. It's awesome. And I painted it. It's lovely. Haven't sold it yet, but that's okay. And in that picture, I'm just as tickled as I appear to be. I was so happy to see it coming. And that's a thing because I'm in Atlanta, and they grow super thin skin or don't grow at all and all that stuff. So I was like, let's make it happen, and grew some crazy gourds that year. But it really is huge. It was like that big around and over 3 feet long, gigantic.
You're gonna have to post the finished product of it all painted so we can see, and maybe we'll have a buyer out there that's
all right.
Take it. So.
You bet.
Awesome. Great. So we're going to have a couple of key points for Sandy to get into her tapping into success. Our first point, introducing the science and the method of EFT briefly. Explain the value of EFT as a tool for personal and professional growth. And then we're going to offer an experience of a guided tap to illustrate the power of identifying limiting beliefs, not that any of us have those, and practice in order to release those things which may be holding us back in business and in life. And I'm super stoked about that because your taps are always really powerful. So take it away, Sandy. Tell us.
Thank you. I'm super excited to be part of the Woo Woo Biz and be the first Woo Woo Biz presentation here, the talk. So welcome to everyone. And thank you in advance for being open to listen and open to play, because that's a big deal. Just showing up is something. Whether you know nothing about tapping or you use it every day, I'm still hoping to introduce it to you and or excite you with possibilities or just to rekindle your love for it. If you're somebody that uses it all the time, it's something that can be added to any traditional practice. As an outcome of this call, I'm really hoping that this group or any subset of it will want to tap together in the future, and that individuals in the group will take advantage and get interested in learning more about tapping as part of their own personal and business and spiritual expansion. Basically, EFT is emotional freedom technique. It asserts that all the events in our lives have an emotional component. So think about that. It's rather logical, but just buy in that all of the events and circumstances in our life have an emotional component. Because we're human and we experience events, people, and circumstances independently of each other, we may be in the same place at the same time and not remember that event or have the same experience at all. And part of that's because of the way we develop as humans, learning what we need to learn to cope. So we give subconsciously give emotional labels to people and events or circumstances. And those labels and those become behaviors, and they do help us, obviously, in the immediate situation. Tapping helps us to identify and release old beliefs and practices, things that we learned, and old labels that we've assigned that really have no value in our lives today. These old things may have associated energy. Certainly they do. That energy gets stuck in our bodies, and that may manifest as pain or illness or something else. And we can choose to release that, which is, we're talking about healing your body, healing your life. I'm going to share a lot of useful information in a short period of time because we have this recording to refer to. Don't try to take copious notes. In the same breath, I'm going to say, hey, get a pencil. When you hear a word or a phrase that really supercharges you or really turns you off, anything that gets a real reaction from you, take a note of that. And and notice, please, and make a note to yourself whether or not you feel that in your body and where you feel it. What's it feel like? So that's first instruction from me. Are we okay? There aren't any quick questions already? Easy to follow?
I think so far so good. No one's alerted anyway. So I see our attendees are on here, and they must all just be getting their notes together. Like, uh-oh,
Nice,
there's no
nice.
test. There's no quiz.
No test. No test.
Yeah, no pass or fail.
So how does EFT relate to business and personal expansion, business and personal enrichment? How am I going to use it? And one aspect of the woo-woo world, if you're new to it, and one respectable characteristic of the woo-woo business person is the willingness and the ability to perform regular self-checks, self-examination, if you want to, paying attention to your own whatever's rolling. That kind of sounds like Six Sigma, if you're familiar, but it's not. It's the practice of reading cues from your own body and your own emotional guidance system. Information from your body could be pain, headache or a backache or some discomfort, nausea, constipation, anything. An emotional cue might be anger. You don't even know why you're in a rage, or disgust or sadness or helplessness. Could look like anything, right? But if you're in a private session with me, we may also look at what your thoughts are and what your brain is doing. Here on this call, I'm referring mostly to the negative cues that can take away from your day. But I don't want to forget to state that we're constantly getting valuable information from our body and emotions. So if you're doing something that's bringing you joy, notice it and put focus on that. You're responsible to bring more joy to your day. So if you're someone who operates on a very strict calendar, you might be someone who wants to schedule an appointment with your dog and call it what it is for you, a recharge session. Make your words count, make your time count, and give yourself that gift. I do think that's something you are responsible to do for yourself and for your business. The point is to honor the information you're getting, have the feelings, name the feelings, and be able to release the feeling and the corresponding energy in your body so nothing gets old and stuck. It is the old stuck energy in our body that manifests as pain or illness or some other manifestation of the inability to expand in the way we desire. If we're willing to honor that information, and as we begin to recognize and use those cues, we can make adjustments in real time. That's an accomplishment. That's what we're working for. Rather than stuffing them down, we can move more quickly, recalibrate ourselves when we've been triggered by someone or a circumstance or a comment, or in my case, a political sign in a yard. I'm laughing at myself, so y'all can laugh at me. We can release old beliefs and practices that no longer serve us, and that sounds like, well, sure you can. Yeah, let's get practice. We can become nicer to ourselves and to others, less judgy. There's very little.
I need that.
There's very little value in being judgy, to beating yourself up or anyone else, except maybe to tell you right and notice it as the clue to tell you right where some work is needed. And that's pretty cool. I am putting out there again, we can heal our bodies. So the point is, when we do become triggered, we're not in the moment and we're not in our power. And as we tap to reduce the charge of that trigger, we become at least more neutral, if not yay, on that subject. And as we move toward neutral, we become more in the present moment and more in our personal power. And you can experience this and prove it to yourself with single relationships with individuals, in a room, in a conference room full of people, on your sales team, however you want to do that. Very brief personal example that I sort of already talked about. I admit I get triggered. I can get triggered by a political sign or a sticker. So I name it. Here's the steps. I feel it and I release it. And I choose something different for myself. So it just looks, I'm just doing this for the sake of demonstration. Even though I'm having a come apart, even though I'm off balance right now, even though I was just fixing to have a good time and now I'm all bent out of shape, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I am okay in this moment, and I choose peace in this moment. And it just backs me out of that thing that I went into. And yeah, it doesn't matter if I'm surprised I was triggered or I knew that was going to happen, nothing. If I am willing to say, okay, Sandy, I recognize you're wackadoo in the moment. That's not what we were fixing to do. We were fixing to go do something else productive. Can we just balance that a little bit and then go on without that? If I need to come back to this BS, I will. You can even, tell yourself. But right now, I choose peace in this moment. That's a huge one for me personally, because what if I do get triggered by something? A more serious personal example, but it really does demonstrate that this kind of practice can turn a gigantic thing to something that's just as small as the trigger of the sign in the yard. We got COVID in July 21, and my mom died in August, and I nearly died, which of course surprised me. Well, I had PTSD, literally, if you don't know about it, from COVID. I had PTSD from seeing my mom so sick as I was her caretaker, and also from the loss of her, of course. And so I did hours and hours, even though Mama died and I didn't, even though I brought it to her, even though I was supposed to be taking care of her. I'm okay in this moment. I'm like, it sends the message to your body that it is okay to release whatever that thing is happening right now. So it can be very real and right now, or it can seem like that, and you'll discover through the tapping experience that it's actually something attached to your left knee and 40 years ago. And in either case, right? So, and I would like to know if those examples help or just help understand.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And we have a question from Janetta. She's asking, how do you name it? So you were talking about, when you saw the sign, and you're like, okay, I'm going to name this. Like, how do you name it? Can you talk a little bit
Even
about
though I'm angry about that, even though I think that guy is dumb, even though I am now upset and I wasn't a minute ago, this was not my plan, even though I'm off course, even though mama died. I mean, you're just saying it out loud. Because
Okay.
you can say you're mad or you're sad or something for sure and get a similar result. But if you say, I feel I have this tightness in my chest, I have this deep sadness, I'm willing to release it. I choose something else for myself right now. It's so naming it is really the way you want to, and you're the only guy that knows how to name it. The emotion, the physical feeling in your body, because almost always is one associated. And then, as I said, sometimes we look at what your brain is saying and what your brain is doing. Anyway, I hope that helps. It's not that I want to talk about my dirty stuff. I think it's helpful, right?
Put all the dirty laundry out, Sandy. It's fine. We're just washing laundry today. It's okay.
Speaking of that, no, I'm just kidding. My partner is Dr. Jerry Levine, and she wouldn't want me to miss this opportunity to say this, the process, this practice of recognizing the need for a shift in the moment in real time, either whether it's an obvious trigger or something more subtle like self-talk or something, and taking the step, i.e. tapping to make the shift in the same moment is to create a new neural pathway. That's what she's always talking about. And I like this illustration of it, like, no, so when you're doing this and you're living off some old belief system, if you can recognize it in the moment, feel it in the moment and turn it around and choose something different for yourself, you are literally doing the work of creating a new neural pathway. And the more you practice, the less trapped and triggered you are by the old neural pathways, which are obviously very deep and old and seated in an experience that you had and you needed to create that belief in the moment for some reason to survive or whatever. It may no longer serve you. If you can recognize it and release it, you truly are free of that. And you can operate more than, guess what, in the moment and in your power. In this group, you might have some specific goals like increasing listings, attracting a certain clientele, moving into a specific vertical market, expanding your office, whatever it looks like to you. Life is rich and wild, and in the sale or the purchase of a house or a business, I think real estate agents and brokers are in a unique space with people going through change.
You want to talk about triggers?
Yeah.
These poor people, you're talking about, number one, a lot of people's largest asset, right? You're talking about a life change because people usually are moving because it's either a positive or negative. They're downsizing or they're growing their family or they're getting married or they're getting divorced, right? So there's usually some sort of major life change happening. And then you're talking about the money part, the emotional part, the money part, the change part. And it brings up all sorts of crazy.
In us as well as them.
This is what I was going to say. Even reflection, because I know what they're showing me, right? And I'm going, so this is showing up. Interesting, right? And that's the excitement about having this woo-woo biz, is to be able to say, okay, when these clients are coming to me from this perspective, I can all right, hold the phone. We're going to tap right now. Put your phone on speaker, set all your stuff down. We're going to tap through this right now. That's going to be powerful.
Yes.
That's how I want to show up and serve my clients in a larger capacity to be able to work through this, because it doesn't have to be painful. Right. It can be
even good change, though, is sometimes painful just because people have trouble with change. And there is a reason, I guarantee you, that can be identified. And that's something else I would not like to leave out. Some people say, oh, I don't want to work with you. I don't want to tap. I don't really want to do that. And it's because they, for some reason, believe in this moment that it means they have to dredge old stuff up, or they have to relive some horrible poo-poo. And that is so not true. It's really neat. If something comes up and you want to cry about it, or some other kind of release that's, you know, maybe you didn't really plan to do that this week, but you'll know when it comes up a lot more about what was going on with you. You'll be much more in control of that in future situations and all that. And that's exactly what I was getting at with working with people who are already in this boat of change. You can be of so much service, you know, a light, a ground would be good, a glue if they need it. You know, how do you show up? How can you be more balanced and energized, just so you can be your happy self, but to affect people, to affect circumstances, and to affect deals,
Yes.
affect
Yes.
the market, man. So
Right.
instruction number 2, just start thinking about the way your energy affects your goals. Just be mindful of that. Take that 1 second to state a goal. You may have multiple ones, but you know, let's just pick the main one you've been talking about for the longest or whatever, and make a very short note to yourself. And how do you feel when you think about having that, already having it? Can you get a feeling that you think, not that you think you're going to have, can you get a feeling that you already have it? This is it's just a question for you to look at for yourself. Okay. So tapping is all about shifting energy. And in the same way, a negative trigger can throw me off, a favorite word can create a significant shift in my energy and awareness. And I want you to test that with me now. Guess what? Third instruction, consider this statement: deep and lasting change is possible. Take a deep breath. Say it to yourself or out loud and notice how that feels. Do you feel it in your body? Deep and lasting change is possible. It really lights me up, but you may feel a big resistance to that. And there's neither one is right or wrong, right? If you're like, I've actually heard people say things like, you think I need to change? Nothing's wrong with me. You know, you think I'm out of balance? You know, this isn't about whoever you're tapping with and thinking about yo stuff.
Right.
There's nothing like that. Yeah, no, but deep and lasting change is possible. I'm almost finished. It's like your commitment to join this group and to join this call, your commitment to sit down and tap, and your intention and willingness to release old stuff, and your understanding that deep and lasting change is possible is half the work. And if there's clear resistance, how lovely is that? We know right where to stop, so you'll be able to release it. You know, if your goal was a certain number dollars of sales next year or this year, whatever it is, and if you hear yourself saying, well, those guys do it, but I can't do it. You know, if you can just hear some weird self-talk or something else, or if you can't hear anything, your kneecap hurts, we're going to tap on that. We're going to tap. We're going to start tapping on the kneecap. Yeah, so you can, you may be able to tell all the stuff I've been talking about is for us to associate with our feelings, right? Just so you know, I don't want to be remiss. Often, substance abuse, addiction is a good example. The pain and the shame and the stuff, all the stuff connected to that in the former life is way too much to identify something singular, right? And it's too painful to even speak about. Maybe you can't name it all. You can't even name all the stuff. Put it in a box. We disassociate, put the box on the table and tap on the box. So there's many ways to approach problems, and all the ways will work all the time, but sometimes you have to dissociate. We're talking about all this stuff we're doing, talking about associating with ourselves and becoming very fluent in listening to our emotions and our even our self-talk and our body. Okay, so some of the science is based on Eastern medicine, meridians and energy systems in the body. and natural healing abilities and natural creative abilities when you're clear and plugged in. There's a sweet spot when we're switching back and forth on positive and negative statements while tapping, during which we can relabel old people, events, or circumstances. And that's really all we're trying to do. The client's always in control. Whoever's tapping, they show up, participate with the intent of being fully supported. Intention and willingness are key, right? Another cool thing about tapping is it's free and available to you 24/7. That's pretty cool. And I would like to explain a little bit about group benefits. If we were in a group, let's say with 12 people, and someone in the room said, Sandy, I want to tap on the loss of my pet. What if 5 of the people in the room never had a pet? Unlikely, but it could happen. It doesn't matter. They did have loss. And we can still tap with Joe about his pet, but everybody in the room taps and repeats the words, and everybody in the room will have a significant release of a shift, I should say.
We have a question.
Yes.
Is there a way or a technique that we could use to not absorb the bad energy of others when we are already tapping on our stuff instead of trying to help them?
Well, we're not trying to help someone, believe it or not. All of our work is on us. All of your work is on you, because the more clear you are, and the less, the more neutral is the word that EFT universe loves, the more powerful you are. And if you, it is interesting that you say that, because if you are getting wrapped up intellectually or emotionally with them, you can be of no help. I mean, that's the whole point. You get super cool, and they're going to feel some of that cool, and it is going to affect the situation.
One of my mentors in real estate has said to me before, when I would call him with something that I'm like having a problem with, he would say to me, Allison, I need you to get off the roller coaster. You literally strapped your ass in next to your client and you are riding the up and down. I need you to get off the roller coaster. And then you can watch them go on the ride and you can adjust accordingly so that things can be smoother. And that really kind of hit me. And I agree. It correlates to what we were saying. And then someone commented, and this could be something really great to tap on, because I know we're getting closer to our end. Change can be scary.
Oh, yeah.
So that could be a great tapping topic, right? And I know we all experience change as something that can be scary at times.
Even let's say it was that goal, I want to make $1 million or 3 million, whatever it is, next year.
Yeah.
You could be scared of that.
Scared of the success.
Well, what's Mark going to think? How am I going to keep Sally happy? This is not, I'm not, well, hold on, lady. Do you or do you not want the 3 million?
Yes, 3 million. Yes.
So you're really not clear on what you're ordering from the universe, because there's a part of you that, and I was just calling that resistance in your own thing. But yeah, fear is fear, and that is of change. It sounds like I'm fearing my goal, but because that goal is going to bring a lot of change. You actually are asking for change and being scared of it at the same time, which is not uncommon, right? We do it to ourselves all the time.
Yeah.
I want to leave some of this science on the table, because that was the purpose too, to get back with me and learn more if you want to. Yes. Tons of stuff online, EFT Universe, Dawson Church. Oh my gosh. But check in right now with yourself, with your goal, with your power, with your passion, even in the resistance in your body. Check in with your body. Look back at your note about your goal and see if, while you're honoring yourself this way, what words or feelings come up for you when you sit with the idea of your goals and the idea of your resistance. Notice and acknowledge the resistance if there is some. You might see it in a way you've never seen it before. You may not. Notice that. Let's see. Oh yeah. What? Again, I always go there. We set goals. We take steps that we call progress. What does it really feel like if all of your requirements and desires were met? Just the ones we're talking about now. We know that's not the end all be all, but like that current goal. And with that in mind, can you choose? I'm going to change that. You can choose to release that resistance. I would really like some input from one or more people, and maybe we just got it. The fear of change. Is that what you want to do?
Let's see, does anyone else want to put anything out there? Yeah, change can be scary. It just caught me because that was just a post on there. And then not absorbing others' energy, that was on there. Let's see, let's give it just a second and see if anybody else wants to tap in. Ha ha ha, pun intended. With the with the comments about anything coming up. It's amazingly powerful. And like you said, bringing this everywhere with you. I mean, you don't need a tool. You don't need it. It's literally just a technique that while you're laying in bed or you're in your, like wherever you're at, you can just start tapping on your meridians and change.
If you are seeing in yourself something you don't want to see, like let's just say you're driving, that happens, and somebody cuts you off. Okay, my grandfather would say, "Go on, cat mess. Somebody will cover you up." I mean, like that was as excited as he got. But my sister would go, "You MF, la 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 la," really rage because she's wackadoo. So, but if I saw myself having an overreaction and that I didn't know that was in there, that's a great signal from your whatever. There's other stuff going on. You are wound up, and you can say, even though that dingbat cut me off, even though there's some idiots on the road, even though, I'm okay in this moment. I choose peace in this moment. And you will be so surprised. Like, be willing to be surprised at yourself when you don't act the way you want to or thought you were going to or whatever, and just look at it, just sit with it. If you really can be quiet and put some ears on it,
right?
Do that. Yeah, sometimes you can't, and you can say that, and you should. I'm going to revisit this later because that guy did something to me. That dude's gone. He hadn't thought about you first time. He didn't think when he pulled in front of you, he hadn't thought about you since. He didn't do anything to you. But right. Guess what? That event, triggered you. So you're triggered. So there you go.
Yes. Okay. Well, I don't see any more comments coming up. And I definitely want to stick to our time frame. So let's do either change can be scary, or not absorbing others' energy, anything that.
All right.
And that's the root.
Very good. And every place we're going to tap is a meridian endpoint with a couple of exceptions. The top of head is where many meridians cross. And if we were to do it, the wrists together would be also where many meridians cross, but most of them are meridian endpoints. And I'll review them super quickly. Top of head, over eye is what EFT Universe calls it. It's really on the bony ridge. Side of eye, same thing, not your temple, not over here, kind of close to your eyeball. Under eye, same thing, near the orb. under nose, what they call chin. This is your chin to me, but they call this chin. K27, collarbones 1 inch down, kidney 27. I love this, and you may, see trainers come up, little bitty guys pounding on a professional athlete right there. They're really turning him on. They're really they're just cranking him up. This will raise your energy. If you just did it, you may feel that. We're going to stay, and karate chop. So this meaty part, and we're going to stick with those to keep this moving quickly this evening. All right. Take a deep breath and follow my words and tapping. Even though there may be resistance, even though I may have resistance to my own goal, I know it's old stuff stuck in my body. The fear of change. Even though some fear is stuck in my body. Even though I may have resistance. I choose to release it now. This fear. This tightness in my chest. This old stuff stuck in my body. I choose to release it now. My thoughts and emotions are purposeful. I am supported by the universe. I am open to receive. I take steps with confidence. I complete steps with ease and grace. I release my fear. Even though there may be resistance. Stuck in my body. I choose to release it now. I'm using this silly tapping. To give my body the message that it's okay to heal. I can heal. I choose to heal now. This is easy. No, it's not. I don't want to be told how easy it is. Just allow, they say. What if I do allow? Maybe I will simply allow. I choose to allow. I choose to release. I was a smart kid and I learned things. I've survived so far. Woo! Some of those old beliefs have served me well. They may not be in alignment with my current goal and desires. I choose to release the ideas that no longer serve me. I choose peace in this moment. Even though I may have resistance. Even though I may get off track. I deeply and completely love and accept myself. I show up in new ways. I delight in my growth. I have something in my growth. Delight.
I delight in my growth. Sorry, I was getting woo-wooed.
I allow others to conspire for my good.
I allow others to conspire for my good.
I do not struggle to grow.
I do not struggle to grow.
This is natural expansion,
This is natural expansion.
even though there may be resistance.
Even though there may be resistance,
Everything continues to fall into place.
everything continues to fall into place.
I am supported by the universe.
I am supported by the universe.
I'm open to receive.
I am open to receive.
I receive.
I receive.
Take a deep breath. How did that feel? Was it fun?
It feels so clearing and beautiful and invigorating at the same time. Not like go run a marathon, but just like the space is open again, right?
Mm-hmm. And we can say this way, is what I'm sharing. I can say I might have resistance. I might have fear of success or fear of my own goal, but it means something different right now than it did before. It's so much less of a scary thing to say.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
I know what to do and I do it, kind of thing. Yeah.
Someone just wrote in, that was lovely. XOXOXOXO.
Great. Well, and you can't get it all in 30 minutes, that's for sure, but I'm so happy to be here. And I really do hope individuals and or groups want to, we'll figure out how to just make everything available to everybody interested to learn more or to have a practice session or whatever we want to do.
Yes. Group sessions, individual sessions with you, super powerful. And let's start, that's kind of like our call to action. So if we want to go to there, we have some different opportunities that you talked about, Sandy, that, maybe there's a group or a subgroup that ends up watching this. And they are like, let's get a group together. Let's tap on something specific, or even contacting you, the opportunity to just go individually and do some deeper work. We definitely ask, if you haven't joined the Woo Woo Biz Manifest That Shit group through Facebook, please do that. And we're always looking to add like-minded friends on there. So that's the whole point, is to have this page for people to learn about different woo-woos that they can work with in their life. Doesn't have to do with anything with real estate, just making our lives better. And then obviously we would love for everyone to go and follow you on Sandy Leaf Designs and see your beautiful work. And we're expecting the gourd photo to come up with purchase price and how to order.
You got it. Thank you so much, Allison. I love being here.
I'm so glad that you're here. That was super powerful. I know many people have been typing in here just like, yay, thank you, that was great. So this is just a teeny snippet of what Sandy can do and what EFT can do for you. So we hope to expand this conversation, and please reach out. And I think that's it for this evening. I don't have anything else, just thanking Sandy for taking the time and for being our very first guest. And you killed it. You're a rock star, and I knew that you would. So grateful for you. So grateful for my team at eResponders, Xander, Giselle, Kenny, everyone that supports us in putting this Zoominar, as I call it, on. So, and we're hoping to do this once a month for now. So hope to see y'all there, and thanks for your support.